Hey there, this is Drew Page, and in this video we are going to break down Season 2, Episode 8 of Undercover Billionaire, featuring Monique Idlett. Let's go!
They're going undercover in cities they've never been to, with only $100, a cell phone with no contacts, and an old truck. All they'll have are the business principles they used to become successful. At the end of 90 days, all three businesses will be independently evaluated.
If it's a penny short of $1 million, I'll put in $1 million.
You know the drill. Each of our investors has 90 days to turn $100 into $1 million with nothing but a contactless cell phone and an old pickup truck. If you haven't gotten caught up on all of my Undercover Billionaire analysis, you can click on the Undercover Billionaire playlist in the description below. While you're there, if you will, please subscribe to my channel and like this video to help with the algorithm to get all this content out there to those who may need it. And if you really want to help me out, you can get a copy of my book, The Right Defense for a Traffic Offense in Virginia. Well, we pick back up with Monique Idlett, who is trying to grow her rooted business. She's working with Alex. She's just finished getting the money for the big fashion show that she did for the shoe store. So now she's really going to be focusing in on getting rooted off the ground. So let's see where she picks up at this week.
Right now, I'm looking at renting a commercial kitchen so that I can produce more of the wellness shots. I'm not ready to sign on the dotted line just yet, but it's good to see what's available, especially since I have an idea for getting Rooted's name out there in a big way.
When I think about what would be good principles for Undercover Billionaire producers to add in, I think they miss one here. I think this is an excellent principle. Just because you shop doesn't mean you have to buy. And I think that it's good that she's looking into the commercial kitchens. She's trying to see what she needs. She's trying to see what's out there, but she's not signing on the dotted line yet because she doesn't have the investment yet that she needs to be able to sign on the dotted line. And plus, she's got other things going on that are of more primary urgency that she needs to deal with. And that's true for all of us when we're looking at starting a business, or even if we have an established business, but we're looking at adding something to it. There's nothing wrong with taking a look at something, trying something out, taking it on a test drive, and then just saying, no, not right now. You know, with this these high pressure sales tactics of different people, it scares us from actually doing that, from taste testing, from trying things out, from test driving, because we're afraid that we're going to get a hard sell, and those things just drain us. But at the end of the day, it's something that we can use to help us make informed decisions about our business. That's a good principle, and unfortunately, the producers miss that, whereas they keep recycling the same principles all the time. But I think that's a principle that that you should keep in mind. Just because you try it doesn't mean you have to buy it.
I'm heading over to Wright Park to scout the location of an event that I registered for called Bite of Black Business. It's a collective of business owners that was born out of the Black Lives Matter protests against police brutality to help support Black businesses here in Tacoma. I don't want to miss out on the opportunity to raise brand awareness and sell my product for the first time to the larger Tacoma community.
The big part of Monique's plan is to go to this event, which she says was born out of a Black Lives Matter protest. I would just caution anyone who's starting a brand new business to be careful when choosing events that may have some political ring to it, political nature to it, whether Republican, Democrat, or whatever. Just be cautious about that. Know that that could alienate some people who see that organization as a political movement. Whether it is or isn't is irrelevant. What matters is if you're trying to start a business, just keep that in mind. It can get dicey.
I like to be what I call preventative. I like to think of how every possible thing can happen so that I can prevent anything happening negative as much as I can possibly control. I can't control everything, but I'm definitely going to try to prevent and plan as much as possible. I need to go and look at the location. I want to know the way the foot traffic is happening. I want to think about the design of the Rooted brand experience.
So Monique's first official principle for this episode is be preventative. I think it would probably have just been simpler to just say be prepared or be strategic. Um, I get it. She's trying to prevent any bad things from happening, but I just think that just sounds weird. But she's on to something. I mean, you've got to scout out where you're supposed to be. She's going to look at where this Vital Black business is going to be located. She sees exactly as part of the gravel trail where people will be coming in, where she needs to set up her rooted booth. So she's looking at anything that can go wrong and trying to prepare so that no matter what happens, things are ready to go for her and hopefully will be beneficial for her with this business. So be preventative. I get it. I would say be prepared or be strategic. But the point being, you need to be ready for any possible problems and address them in advance when you're running a business.
Hey, Monique.
Hey, how are you?
How you been?
It's gonna be so strange to be on the opposite side of this table. But to get Rooted going, nice to meet you. I will absolutely need additional investments, and I am hoping they buy into my vision. Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so our office is kind of below here. We have a little boathouse we work out of, and then
Oh,
this is kind of the
nice.
place. So
Cheers.
cheers. You gotta let Don know what this is, eh?
So this one is ginger, carrot, blueberry, cherry, and a little dash of mint just to blend it all.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
All right, Monique is making a pitch to two local Tacoma investors who help underrepresented business owners to serve as angel investors, essentially. And Monique is making this pitch to them, and she shares some of the product. And if you watch this and you've watched Shark Tank, there's going to be kind of some similarity to how this goes, just on a smaller scale, obviously. When you go to meet with an investor, you need to bring your product or some sort of demonstration of your service with these investors for when you pitch. I mean, if you just show up and say, my business is great, it's this, and you don't bring them anything they can experience, they're not going to understand that. And like I said, you see that on Shark Tank each episode where people are bringing the sharks some of their product for them to experience or taste or feel or whatever. So make sure that when you are doing a pitch to angel investors or whoever, you have some of your product ready. But this scene is going to be really cool to watch if you are ever looking for investors to raise funds from.
For me, wellness came into my life a few years ago when I just wasn't feeling well. And so I started cold pressing ginger and turmeric. And it literally changed my life. So I want to share that. You know, I came from LA to Tacoma. And one of the biggest issues in Tacoma is health equity. And considering now that we are, just as a nation, at the most unhealthy we've ever been, my goal is to try to bring us as close as, to consuming as close to harvest as possible. Starting with the juice shots, grocery stores, coffee houses. Then the second phase of it would be trying to reimagine the ice cream trucks. That's the long-term goal. And then, the third phase would be franchising it.
When you're making your pitch to angel investors, make sure that you have a story to tell as to why they should invest with you. So here Monique shares the health crises that she experienced in her own life and how juice shots like the ones that she's created revolutionized her life and transformed her so that she could be healthy. And now she wants to make that accessible to everyone else who may not otherwise be able to get that. Now, I've already done numerous videos. You can check the Undercover Billionaire playlist as to why I think that that's really a false premise, that it is actually available. She's talking about selling these little tiny shots for like $4 or $5 a piece. And she was talking about how having a baked potato costs $2. I mean, you can buy an apple for $1 or less. So I don't know how filling these things are going to be, but nonetheless, the bottom line is she has a story that she can sell to these investors. Some reason why they can latch on to her story as well and make it a part of their own, and then they'll be willing to put their investor dollars behind it.
Have you had conversations with some of the potential clients, and they've tried it, and they said,
Everyone's
"Well,
had
we'll
it.
take this"?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
I did that the first week.
So if you had like
Before I
1,000
even-
Forgive me, $5 a shot, not $4 a shot. So for less than $5, you can get a side salad, which will be just as healthy, or some other things. I mean, a little bottle of juice that's not going to fill you up at all. She's charging $5 and saying that she's making health affordable to all. But I digress. The bottom line is that she does know her numbers. She has proof of concept already. People have enjoyed her product. No one's complained about it. And she is explaining to them that there is a huge margin, and that's what investors want to hear is what's the margin going to be? How much are they going to make per shot so that they can get their money back? And that's something that Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank references all the time. How am I going to get my money back? And so you've got to be able to explain to an angel investor how it is they're going to get their money back based on the margin between how much the juice shot costs versus how much you sell it for. So what's that margin going to be? That's going to answer the question about how soon they can get their investment back.
So for us, we invest in the underrepresented population. That's a place where we feel passionate about, and so we've invested in several businesses that are either ran by women or minority-owned ownership. So we're willing to offer $25K investment for 25% of the business.
Okay, so these investors have offered $25,000 for 25% of Rooted's business. So essentially, they're giving it a valuation of $100,000. So you need to understand that when they offer a percentage based on dollar value, you've got to be able to calculate what the overall value of the business is that they are trying to bring. So in this case, 25% is 1/4 of the value of the company. And if they're offering $25,000 of that, then that means 25 times 4 is the total value that they are assessing the company at. So that would be, in this case, $100,000. And, considering that there hasn't been a whole lot of sales, there's been a few investors. She basically has $10,000 now. It's understandable why they would be asking for such a high amount. Just again, think back to Shark Tank, where these people come in asking for $3 million for 5% of the business. And the sharks are like, you're out of your mind. I'll give you, what you're asking for 50% of the business or whatever. But when you're an investor, you want to get as big a piece of the pie as you can. And when you're trying to get investors, you're trying to give as little of the pie as you possibly can if you believe that your business is going to grow to a large amount someday. Now, if you're not sure that your business is going to grow, then maybe you give up a larger percentage for a larger amount of cash up front, and maybe you just get unlucky and your business flourishes and you're like, I shouldn't have sold so much for so little early on. But most businesses that are startups fail. So a bird in the hand is one thing that we need to consider when we're starting a new business. So if somebody offers you a good pile of money on a business that may fail, you may just need to think about it. But those are all risks and rewards that you need to balance in your mind before you make a decision. So let's see what Monique has to say about her $100,000 valuation when she's trying to grow a business with $1 million valuation.
Well, wait a second. How do you come up with the formula that you came up with, the 25 to 25?
So this 25 for 25 idea is like, here's 25K. It's enough to move the needle. It's also enough for us to get a feel for each other and see if you're serious and you're moving down the path.
Yeah.
I have been struggling with the numbers right now, especially since I struggle with, teaching women in particular to give over 25% of their company, because what I'm saying is that my company's only worth $100,000. Clearly, I do need an investment, but it's $25,000 for 25% of my company. That's not an option. The biggest thing in business, especially women in business, is we have to be okay with knowing our worth, charging our worth, and being comfortable with that. We have to ask for the money. Women, black women in particular, still only make 62 cents on the dollar. Men can walk in a room with a t-shirt and flip-flops on, and they're getting valuated at millions of dollars. And so as a woman, I'm already under undervalued. I'm already, just underserved. And it's like, do I take money right now or don't I? Like, I'm really struggling with that, right?
For someone who's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars, she definitely knows how to play the victim card. I mean, that's bravo. I mean, she's figured that out. She's worth 100 times more than I am financially right now, and I think I got a pretty good life, and she's living high on the hog and is somehow managed to figure out a way to still be a victim. That's amazing. But I do think that she's right on the valuation part. You're not going to give up 25% of your business for $25,000 if you're trying to push for $1 million valuation. Her business is probably worth less than $100,000 right now, but you don't look at just today. You project forward. And even the stock market does that. They have a price to earnings valuation, a PE ratio. What is the amount that you're going to earn, and is the price reflective of that? And most stocks trade for anywhere from 8 times earnings forward, or some even 22, 23, and then there are some crazy ones that are in the hundreds. So I understand the point here. I don't think these guys are attacking her because she's black. I don't think they're attacking her because she's a woman. They're just making a sound business offer that she disagrees with. You don't need to take it personal and make these implied innuendos that they are being sexist and racist. I mean, it doesn't make any sense considering that both men across the table are not white. They're multiracial. So clearly it's not a race issue. She makes the point about it being women. Maybe that's the issue. But these guys have developed a reputation for helping underrepresented people. So I don't think it's that either. I think she just got her feelings hurt and she's playing the victim. But we'll see what their counter response would be.
What percentage of the company for how much? Or what's the valuation?
It's definitely more than 100,000. And so in order for us to start changing these narratives, our companies have to be valued higher and better. If it means I have to struggle a little bit more, then I'll have to do that. I actually respect what the two of you are doing, and so I wanted to make sure I had the conversation lightly, not offensively.
No. I mean, it seems like you have a clear vision. You communicate it really clearly. You give off this sense of leadership. Like you in the room, there's a confidence around it. It's like, okay, hey, great. Like you're probably gonna make something work.
I'm definitely gonna make something work.
So,
Not probably.
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna make something work. Now that's a fact.
Right.
It was so nice to meet you. Do you want me to leave this here? Okay. As excited as I was about the offer, I said no to the $25,000 for 25%. This is a $1 billion industry with $1 trillion economic input, so I wasn't willing to bet $100,000 of that. No way.
All right, so she didn't even make a counter offer, and they didn't propose any other type of percentage. She just basically says, I'm not trying to be offensive by the fact that I just went on this tirade about, how you're basically underserving me. But, I don't want to be offensive because I appreciate what you do. But at the end of the day, they did not reach a deal. And Monique is not able to get an additional investment for the business. I've already mentioned in past videos again about using the $1 billion industry, $1 trillion footprint. Shark Tank and other angel investor shows have already just destroyed the ignorance that comes with making those types of claims. That's not how you view a business. That's not how you value a business. You value it based on the products and services and related services. You don't just say, hey, it's a $1 billion industry. Okay, well, what does this have to do with protein drinks or, other GNC products or things like that? There's no connection. So when you're making an investor pitch, don't look at the totality. Oh, the housing industry is a multi-million dollar or multi-trillion dollar business. So when I'm trying to sell you these new doorknobs, I want a $1 million business, even though I've sold 3 of them. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So just stay away from that type of argument.
This is so weird. It was a mad rush to get everything I need for the event tomorrow. And now I'm getting started juicing later than I wanted to. Thousands will be at Wright Park, but my strategy is to only make 200 shots so that I sell out. Now I just have to figure out how to use this new commercial juicer. So confused. I don't know about this one. So let's see how this one works. It doesn't work. Yo, no, it doesn't work for real. I'm being so serious right now. I have to figure that out right now. Can we just cut for a second so I wanted to test it and now I did, so. I'm learning all types of things tonight. Oh my God, are y'all serious right now? Business lesson? Like, leave me alone with this right now. I literally am trying to figure this stuff out. This business lesson.
Business lesson. We'll get to that. So before we get to this scene, Alex had delivered her fruit order to the wrong place, and so he ends up having to meet Monique at the same place where she's buying this professional juicer that was used for $200. So Alex goes out of his way to make sure that she gets the produce that she's supposed to have, and then she has this strategy of only making 200 shots, even though there's supposedly thousands of people there, so she can sell out, which is odd because if there's going to be 4,000 to 5,000 people there, why not at least make 1,000? You should still easily sell out then if everything is so good and things are priced so reasonably. If I were an angel investor, I'd much rather see a proof of concept from 1,000 versus 200. But either way, apparently she has some trouble with the juicing, and the producer's like, "What's some business lesson?" And she's like, "Get out of here with that." I guess the business lesson is make sure that you buy a juicer in time, that you're not waiting until the wee hours of the morning of the day of an event to start juicing or whatever it is you're supposed to be doing to produce for your business. That whole be preventative thing that she was talking about in the first principle, which should be prepared. So hopefully she's able to figure it out, and we'll find out in the next episode if Monique is able to get the juices done in time for the Bite of Black business. Again, I'm Drew Page. Please subscribe to my channel and like this video to help with the algorithm. It's absolutely free, doesn't cost you a thing, and it really helps me out and helps others be able to find this content a lot easier. You can get caught up with all of my Undercover Billionaire analysis by clicking on the playlist in the description below. You get a copy of my book, The Right Defense for a Traffic Offense in Virginia, and you can follow me on other platforms of social media by clicking on the links below. Well, until next time, stay tuned.